Hello, and welcome back to Monifactory. Last time we got started with MV properly and built up this big old building, and since then I've built out the rest of it, among a few other things, such as this cool jetpack and that cool sign. The jetpack is so much better than the old one. It has a real battery now, and I like how the building ended up. I like this little divot at the top. I might add a little bit more character to it, but I like these windows here. These are pretty cool. Adds a little bit more to the building. I like it quite a bit. And the lights out front are very nice. I might put some more of these around. If not with the MB patterning, then just, something in general. I don't know. I am in love with Better Black Sea. I'm so glad I added to this pack. These lights are awesome. I have been doing a whole ton of ore processing. And oh my goodness, do I mean a lot. We are not rich, but we're not rich. I'm a little hesitant to call us rich. We could definitely use more iron, but for the most part I think we're doing pretty good on our resources. Downstairs looks a little bit cleaner. I've got some combustion generators ready for what we're going to be, I believe, starting with. I need to check the docket again. I've been setting up these little lights here. I like these quite a lot. I like the, it's so nice having a roof that isn't just right next to my head, you know what I mean? Having some space but still being enclosed, it's wonderful. I missed it very much. I was kind of claustrophobic in Stone Block 4, which was sort of the intention, but I'm glad to not be anymore. It feels nice being in a grand, big place. I also read the comments last time, and I found out that you don't actually need an extractor here, so I have a drawer that just buffers clay for us. I'm sure I could think of quite a number of things to do with clay, not the least of which are building and terracottas, and I love terracottas. But also it's just good to have a nice buffer of this for whenever we need it. Anyway, enough of that. Off to the docket for today. Pretty simple, I think. We have 4 main objectives here. First and foremost, I would like ethanol power. The sugarcane is good, but I would like something a bit more meaningful. Ethanol, for one, can scale into a number of things. For one, it's obviously a decent combustion fuel. For 2, we can combine it with some things a little bit later down the line to get biodiesel, which is even better. We'll probably be doing this in HV if I had to take a guess. For 3, we use it for butadiene, and I remember hearing this. I believe it's used for that fancy rubber later on. And finally, ethanol plus some sulfuric acid, which we'll need a lot of, can make ethylene. And this is used in a few things, namely the ever so delightful polyethylene, as well as the humble vinyl chloride, used in making polyvinyl chloride. So plastics are soon, and it's sustainable because it's plant-based. Yeah, at least theoretically. After that, we have HNN. Oops. So there's a number of things around here that are soft-gated by HNN. For example, MV emitters require a flawless emerald, which requires some form of emerald ore. The main source of this is a nether vein, which we can't go to because we don't have the nether. Additionally, we're a little low on antimony, and would you believe it, we get that from a stibnite, which is, another vein. So we're probably a little bit due to look into that kind of thing. Plus, there's probably a few things we want from that. The thing I am far away most interested in is the Guardian data model, because not only do we get the overworldian matter we need, and in large quantities, but we need these Guardian predictions. They give us nice things such as prismarine shards and crystals. Some Guardian scales and sponges might be useful. I don't know what this would be used for. I suppose we could use it to make aluminum, but I don't see any need in doing that. And we get a whole stack of cod, which we can extract for fish oil, and fish oil it can be used to make lubricant, or biodiesel. So maybe biodiesel comes sooner than we think. That depends on sodium hydroxide though, which is something I'll worry about another time. I'm getting ahead of myself in that regards. After HNN, we'll just head to the nether and do some nether stuff. I don't know what's to do in the nether, but I'm sure we'll find something fun to do there. And after that, we're gonna make 4 blast furnaces. I would have said 400, but I'm not doing that. I won't be doing that. At least yet. Maybe I'll do that later or something. Probably not, actually. I think there's a super giga mega super blast furnace or something you can make. Yeah, this crazy thing. I can't wait to make one of these things. This looks crazy. But this comes quite a ways later once we get to ZPM circuits. So not for a long time. But of course, that all begins with ethanol. So let's go get some ethanol. So our plan here is we're going to use sugarcane to turn into compressed plants, grind up those compressed plants into biochaff, ferment the biochaff into biomass, and distill the biomass into ethanol. So first let's set up a couple more of those super snatificators over there. Well, not over there, but over here. Okay, all done. I'll make it pretty once it's, ready. So we have no shortage of sugarcane now. Now we just need to compress it into plant balls. Now the thing about this, first and foremost, I didn't know you could click on this to change the voltage. That's awesome. But anyway, this takes 7.5 seconds to make 1 plant ball. This takes 5 seconds to grind 2. So the math adds out that we need 3 compressors in order to make our macerator always running. So let's go make 3 compressors. And the macerator, of course. And probably the distillery as well. Yeah, we should do all that. Okay, so I think this might end up being a little cramped, but that's okay. It's MV. We're allowed to be not great. So we're gonna run some pipes over here and just take it up to these compressors with a conveyor, which will funnel into this macerator. I'm not sure if I should put it there, but that's where it's gonna be. And I'm very interested to see if auto output doesn't require a conveyor. I guess I probably need to put power on these though. We'll do that out the back, but I didn't think about that right now. Anyway, we're gonna have this auto export on this side here to this drawer right here. And I think the input hatch, oh no, we need the input bus. Okay, let's swap these two real quick. So I think the input bus auto pulls. I certainly hope. Oh, actually, you know what? I have a better idea. Let's reorganize some stuff. You know what? I'm just gonna borrow a couple of these batteries. These are all full. We don't need these right now. Let's just put some batteries in here. The old-fashioned way. Oh, this is well, more than loud. It's oh, very loud. Shut up. Oh, it does auto export. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And it goes into this drawer and straight into here. Excellent. Okay, great. A wonderful start. So now we just need to put power into these and water into here, and we'll be making our biomass. For our water, we're going to be using an aqueous accumulator, an oh-so-iconic thermal machine. I guess it's not really a machine, it's a device, I think the technical term is. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. We'll just, how about there and there for the water? That seems good. I have a few of these ULV parts just kind of laying around, so I'm interested to see if this is going to be good enough. Like, this seems fine, honestly. I don't think we use water that fast here. We probably could have gotten away with just a water collector, but I didn't think about that. Okay, so water and biochaff on circuit 1. The only issue is that, once again, we still have no energy here. I sure hope this works. MV to LV, right? That's how this goes? And bam, bam. Don't burn anything, please. Oh, does this only export from one side? It might only export from one side. That would appear to be the case. Darn it. Okay, now if I put the battery in, it runs enough. Oh, did it just shut off? Why? It has power. Am I crazy? Okay, it looks like it's actually able to keep up, which is good. Why? Why do I speak? Why do I say words? What's your problem now? Everything is full of power. What do you mean there's no power? Are you stupid? You have amperage, you have power. What are we doing? We're just not feeling like it today? Am I going crazy? It might be because I just have the one battery, actually. Well, upsettingly, I'm out of battery alloy, so... Oh, I can just go rip some stuff out of LV, actually. I'm sure this is a great idea with no foreseeable issues. Okay, you had better produce 2 amps of LV power now. You have 2 batteries in you. Go. Looks good to me. Okay, I think it really was just a case of, yeah, I only had the little bit of... Alright, that's fine. We're gonna move this a little bit. Again. So we're gonna set the biomass drum here, just as a little buffer. We'll set a distillery here, and it'll export into this drum here. Or, no, let's put it right here. Just nice and simple there. And let's grab another battery just to get this running for just a moment. We don't need these batteries right now. We don't even have those blast furnaces. Who cares? We do need pumps, however. Oh, but we do get a byproduct of wood pulp, which is not the best, but we can figure something out to do with that. Circuit 1, go. Huzzah! Biomass. Or my mistake, ethanol. Ethanol's the good stuff. Wow! And it's coming in quite quickly. Cool. Okay, and everything here is just so darn loud. I don't want to be listening to this anymore. I'm not sure if I can turn off the aqueous accumulator. Alright, so let's put some pipes in and hope for the best. We'll put a pump on, set it to import. Cannot do round robin, it would appear. Whoa! You are loud, dude! Oh my gosh, but you are strong. Oh wow, you are strong. Wow. Cool. Okay, I hope that should last us for quite a while. That seems like it'll be pretty good. I think the setup works. Let me clean up this place a little bit and we'll come back in just a moment. Alright, it's looking pretty good, right? Or at least as good as it's gonna look. Got this nice tinted glass here and this cool little window here. I think it looks pretty nice. I really love these lights. Out the back here we have a whole lot of cabling and a maybe one of the most toxic places one could imagine to be. So we have this running into this 8 amp energy converter. I am not convinced I needed 8 amps, but oh well. Yeah, it seems like we're typically hovering around the 1, so maybe I should have gone with like a 4 amp, but oh well. This runs into a low voltage transformer, which we can transform into the pyrolyze oven to make it run nice and quick. And the rest of these cables just go to the machines back here. Nothing too crazy. It's it's exactly what you think. Cables go to machines, right? And while we've been running it, it's been pretty good. These 3 pipes are already totally full of ethanol, and these are 12 buckets apiece. The generators are totally full as well. So this is like 50 buckets of ethanol already. And once these pipes fully finish, then we can start actually buffering in the drum here. It might have been better just to use LaserIO, but oh well, it doesn't matter. The GT pipes are cool, and we're probably supposed to be using them. It's a Gregtech pack after all, right? But yeah, this is power. We're producing 3 amps of MV basically all the time, I think, which is great. That's really strong. 1 amp of MV is 512 RF per tick, or I guess FE. It doesn't really matter. They use it pretty interchangeably in this pack. So those 3 generators are like 3 of these full setups. So we, instead of using like 6 dynamos in total, or I guess 2 boilers and 4 turbines tripled, we just need the 3 combustion generators, which is pretty nice. This is great. I definitely think biodiesel is going to be the future, but we'll worry about biodiesel when we have more infrastructure. I really think biodiesel is probably just going to be an HV thing, because I want to do biodiesel right, because biodiesel is going to be... This is like a kind of a convoluted setup, but it's not nearly as bad as something like biodiesel would be. We would need like HNN passive and, you know, fish oil and another chemical reactor and all this stuff. This will probably just last us for MV and kind of bridge the gap into HV. And we'll probably, maybe not rip this whole thing out, but we'll definitely reset up ethanol again, I think, once we get to HV and once we're ready to actually jump straight into biodiesel. But, you know, future prospects are a little scary to me. I just wish I had a big old battery buffer to look at any given point. I've got this one over here, but it's not like that big. Also, apparently it's missing a battery still. We get like a ton of wood pulp as a byproduct, like so much wood pulp. We can do a couple things with this, but I think the main thing we probably want to do is like fertilizer. But again, this is something we should probably worry about later. There's just a whole lot of... Really, I might just end up trashing this. It's a fuel. Maybe I'll put it in the furnaces. It's like a wood plank worth of fuel. That's something. But we just get so much of this stuff because the distillery is really, really good. But yeah, I'm very, very satisfied with this. This should, honestly, we could probably hook up more generators to this even. Like we probably could hook up maybe 6 of these or maybe more. I don't know. I think we'll be great on power for at least a little while though. So I'm quite satisfied with that. And it's a cool orange. And it's all sustainable. Really, really sustainable at that. So let's take that off the docket. Wow, that was kind of a loud click. I didn't expect that. Yeah, we'll just stuff a drawer out the front and make it look a little ugly for now. We may not have honestly needed this drawer here because it looks like the internal buffer is used pretty rapidly. But maybe we will. I know this was kind of just stalled for a while because I ran out of space for all the wood pulp. Yeah, I've been only talking for a couple minutes and we're almost totally backed up through the pipes. This is great. Oh man, so much ethanol. Great, great, great. All right, well, I've been at this for like 2 hours already, so I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to edit some footage and I'll be back shortly. Hello, and we're back. I've been doing more ore processing. You can tell by the redstone marker over there and the loud noises. I was actually editing some footage, and it doesn't sound that loud on camera, so maybe I just sound completely insane to everybody. I've been processing a lot of redstone, which is getting us some rare earth. I don't know if it's useful, but I mean, it's rare, right? Like, it can't be that bad. I'm gonna stand over here away from all those loud machineries. So let's look at simulation chamber, because that's what we need to do next. For the most part, this is pretty easy. I mean, we've done LV circuits before. The dark steel casing's pretty simple. It's dark steel and an LV machine hull, and dark steel is just steel and obsidian, so that's not too bad. I don't think we've done pulsating mesh before. We've done these dusts before. We have no shortage of uraninite to smelt into the dust. Carbon fiber mesh, however, we haven't done before, but it seems easy. So give me like 5 minutes. So we're going to be pretty quick and dirty about this. We're just going to set this here for right now. We're not going to do HNN too crazy yet. I should also probably make a data model. That seems important. So we need a model framework. And this seems pretty easy. Yeah, electrical steel, another mesh, some gold wire. We've done this before. So I think we can just chuck this right in here. Missing input, pulsating prediction. Right! You can tell I've never really done much of this before. Clay and pulsating dust. Oh, this is like free almost. We just need like uraninite, and then it's like totally free. Okay, sure. Oh, and you get like a lot of these per run too. You get 4 for your inputs. Wow, really good. All right, give me these. I need some matter. So we can use this overworlding matter for a lot of things, but the one we actually care about right now is hellish matter, because this is what gets us to the nether. We need like 4, I think. So that's not too bad. But 4 hellish is 16 overworldian, so we're just going to let this run for a little while. Anyway, to get hellish matter, which is the, actual bottleneck, like I just said maybe 10 seconds ago, we need netherrack, and netherrack I believe is an autoclave recipe? No, it's a chemical reactor, and we need lava, so I'm going to go get a tank. I gotta say, the hang glider's pretty nice with the jetpack. You don't even have to use that much fuel. Anyway, let me show you the redstone veins in this pack. They are crazy. I've probably dug out this one for like at least like several stacks of blocks of redstone, and look how much is left. It's so much redstone. It's crazy. Look at this. We have no shortage of like rubies or redstone or anything. It's awesome. Also, it intersects with a lot of these other random ores, like whatever kyanite is, and a glow squid. Hey, I want a fancy ink sac. Anyway, the reason I came down here was just to get lava, so you can ignore all that. I can't. Are you kidding me? Why? You're so mean. Yeah, why can't I interface in the machines, but I can't interface with the bucket? Ah. That's okay. /home and /back has me, and I have a better idea. What if I auto-export through here? Haha, now you would... Oh. Well, I guess 16 buckets of lava will be fine. I'm going to the nether soon anyways. Oh man, my armor's not perfect anymore. That stinks. Okay, let's chemical react some dust. Wow, welcome to hell. I've heard the weather's great here. Okay, so finally we need to actually make a cake base. I think this is easy. What's flour take? Just wheat? Okay, do I have wheat? I don't think I do. Or milk for that matter. Adventure time. Come on, grab your friends. I'm by myself, this is single player. Milk, wheat. I should probably be doing some of these widgets now, because look at how much money I could be making from this. Like, look at this. This is just like wood and stone, and it's like 50 cents. That's kind of crazy, right? Or whatever an alloy widget is like $1. That's kind of awesome. What's an alloy widget? I mean, that's like a little bit of effort, but that's not that bad. Definitely, I'd probably be doing these, honestly. Whatever. We can worry about that another time. We have more pressing matters. Cakey. Cakey. I should probably put all these cakes somewhere, huh? There's a good spot to stuff this for the little bit of time. I mean, I guess they can make it pretty easily again now that we have HNN, but we'll just stuff it in this corner. How about that? Nom. Children, I need you to shut your ears for a moment. Are you serious? What are we talking about? It's eaten all over again. What is this? No, really. What is this? What do you want me to say about this? Like, there's a bastion over there. That's kind of cool. I thought the game was in peaceful. Why do I see a piglin? Are piglins on in peaceful? Am I crazy? I suppose so. Maybe in this pack they just don't do anything. What are we talking about? Thank goodness I have a jetpack, I guess. You know what? Let's go exploring. You know what? Fine. When life gives you lemons, you find pig step. I will, however, be taking all of this gold. Oh my goodness, that is so much. Okay, no, that's a hoglin. Hoglins are scary, are you not? Are we just... Oh, we just hang out in this version? What's up? Hello! Oh, that's not my fault. I didn't push you. You walked into that of your own volition. Is that sulfur on the ceiling? Or is that just like part of an ore? It's just in the... Okay, it's topaz, but also it's very strange. This is a very strange landscape I have found myself in. Aha, we have a chest. It's a pretty mediocre one. What is repellent? Chance to teleport away attackers. This sounds bad even if I wasn't playing in peaceful. Great. I don't want to wear that. Don't put that on my head. Okay, yeah, this is one of those bastions that either I don't recognize very well or are just like very loot poor. I think it might just be the one chest in there, which is a bummer. Oh, beryllium. That's emerald. That's one of the reasons I'm here, actually. Note the sheer absence of like a crimson or a warped forest, by the way. No, it's okay. I didn't want to use those, very pretty wooden planks. Why would you think that? Okay, so I went up and I saw nothing, which probably indicates to me that if it's on the ground here, it's probably below me, and if it's on the ceiling, it's above me. However, I'm also noticing that this is a lake of lava. If I dig down, there's just going to be lava. Am I wrong? I guess I am wrong. Well, pleasantly wrong. Oh, are you serious? Come on! You can't even... I have to... Oh. Well, I'm not entirely wrong. Unpleasantly correct. Oh boy. I must say, I forgot how delicious ore tastes when it's new and exotic and valuable. I've been digging so much copper and tin and iron lately that I forgot what a real meal tastes like. Yummy gems. Nom, 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 nom. Hey, check that out! Piece of ancient debris. Is that useful? Does that do anything for me? A rarest metal mixture. Oh, it's iridium. Oh, okay. It doesn't seem netherite is particularly valuable in this pack. From what I gathered, it seemed to just be a spacesuit later on. But because I added tinkers, we could make, put that on our tinkers tools, and that's pretty good. That's something, I guess. Alright, well, that means we're done with that and that. I guess we're already on to this, huh? I didn't expect us to be there so fast. Cool. So first and foremost, regarding those large blast furnaces, the main thing that was holding us back was MV energy hatches. We need these ULPICs, or I'm just going to call them ULPICs. We needed one per energy hatch, and we could not make these yet. We have the MV cutter, that's no big deal. However, we do not have an MV laser engraver, which is what we need to actually engrave these silicon wafers. The silicon wafers we can actually do already. I've been making some of these just in the background. These are these big boules made of silicon and a little bit of gallium arsenide. And we put them in the cutter and they make wafers. And the wafers become all kinds of things, usually circuit components, I believe. So it's good to get this going, you know what I mean? I need those circuits. I don't know if that's really quirky or whatever, but I need those circuits. I need to get better circuits all the time. Better circuits. Everything's all about better circuits. I don't care about machine holes. I don't care about tiers. I want better circuits. To actually get where I was going with this, though, in order to make the laser engraver, we need emitters. And emitters need flawless emeralds. And would you believe it? You need emeralds for emeralds. I mean, surely you could have figured that out, right? You don't need me to explain that to you. But emeralds are only in the nether. And now that we can go to the nether, we have many more ore vein options. Things like monazite. I feel like I remember hearing this stuff. Obviously, for one, emeralds. Manganese feels like it'll probably be important. I recall seeing tantalite and tantalum frequently. Certus quartz obviously is going to be very important soon. An ore vein of just a bunch of, gold and iron sounds pretty awesome to me. Especially if it's big. I hope it's big. Sulfur obviously is very useful. We need this stuff, not all the time, but frequently, just for, chemicals and the like. We're going to need a lot of this soon for sulfuric acid, and electrolyzing it out of things is not going to cut it. So I'm glad we have this as an option now. We also have stibnite in a tetrahedrite vein. It's mostly copper, which we don't need a ton of, really, but we'll probably need more. But also, it's antimony. So now we actually have a source of antimony whenever we go to make batteries, and we don't have to just buy this again. Anyway, I probably should have been, grinding all this emerald while I was going through this explanation. I had to re-record it, 4 times. You know what I just realized about these emitters? They take 2 MV circuits a pop. That's crazy, right? Oh man. Good thing it's all in the name of cheaper circuits. Right? And that lets us get our laser engraver. Well, now that we've got all that ready to go, I'm just going to grab these silicon boules here. These are 7.5 minutes per. Thankfully, editing gives you a lot of AFK time. So we can just cut these up in here. Oh, these are also going to take forever, aren't they? Oh, yes they will, especially with water. I suppose that gives me a kick in the pants to use lubricant. But later. Fish oil is later. Also, shut up. You are like really loud, aren't you? So we also need a number of these lenses, and each one we can make with one of these very shiny gemeralds. I was processing some of that redstone earlier, and there was a bunch of ruby in that vein, so I got an exquisite ruby and an exquisite emerald from our trip to the nether. To my understanding, I believe these also take forever, but we only ever need one of them, each. You also be quiet. Now, regrettably, the old picks we need a sapphire lens, which is unfortunately the one of these we don't have. Well, we almost have enough, but you need 9 for a block, and we have 3. Oh my gosh, the first 8 pieces of sapphire, and we already got an exquisite. Huge! Oh, I accept your apology, video game. So we only need a handful of Ulpic chips for our quad EBF setup. So we probably only need to do this like once. We can worry about these Ulpics a bit more once we get to a state in which we're doing things like high amp transforming. But for now, I think just the one wafer and some cut up stuff should be fine. I suppose we do have a lot. Let's just make it a clean 8. No kill like overkill, right? No, especially because these recipes take forever. Wow. Well, let's get everything else set up for all this. So while our energy hatches finish up, the last thing we'd be missing is the Kanthal coils. So for that we need Kanthal, but Kanthal is an HV blast furnace recipe. So let's do a little bit of cannibalizing for a little bit. Oh, don't mind me, I'm just gonna borrow these. We'll just set these here for right now. I'm sure the other blast furnace won't miss them. Finish our hatches. Oh, and I've been waiting to do this for a while. Behold, high voltage. You should touch it. I'm sure it's a good idea. So Kanthal is made of 1 part iron, 1 part aluminum, and 1 part chromium, which is pretty easy. We have basically all of those. In fact, we do have all of those in large quantities. I've been processing some of those rubies I dug up on that redstone trip, and we have a lot of chrome. That said, let's work backwards. We need 42 coils for our setup, so let's do some EMI. Wow, that looks pretty doable actually. Yeah, this really doesn't seem that bad at all. Let's get started. You know, it's only just occurred to me. I need to make 300 of these ingots and they're 45 seconds apiece. I think now's a good time to take a little transition break. Alright, and check this out. Star wipe to the right. And we're back. I've been doing a lot of grunt work. Would you believe it? I've been doing a lot of waiting. But we now have 4 whopping blast furnaces, all to Kanthal tier, all HV. They're crazy. These things should be awesome. This will last us a good while until we need to upgrade everything again. But it just won't need to be upgraded for a little while, I hope. And if nothing else, I'm sure we'll find a use for all these Kanthal blocks. If we end up needing to scrap all of these, I'm sure the pyrolyze oven down here will appreciate it. While I've been doing this excessive waiting, I've been working on some stuff. Namely, 4 stacks of these basic LV circuits. Our first round of integrated circuits. Tin bolts are incredibly cheap, they're just tin. Fine copper wire is similar, it's just copper. These IC chips we have a lot of because we made a whole lot of those silicon boules. The resin circuit boards aren't too bad, it's just wood and copper and some glue, which is sort of wood. But this was also just a long recipe. This was 2 stacks, this was like 1200 seconds. No, 120 seconds? I don't know, a while. But the resistors and diodes are the real issues here. But thankfully these get a lot better a lot sooner. Once we have the HV assembler and polyethylene, we can make whole tons of these, I believe. I'm not sure if we actually have access to platinum wire, but I think we can make SMD components soon-ish. It's down here is the ones that they recommend to us. So allegedly we should be able to get some amount of platinum easily-ish, I think, I hope. Yeah, actually, if we go to the end, we could get platinum. Okay, so that's... Whenever I see Gregtech, I hear people talk about a plat line all the time, and so I was scared I had to do all that. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's like 4 tiers out, so that would be bad. But we're okay. Anyway, these diodes and resistors will get a lot cheaper very soon. Once we're able to make things like tantalum and electrum and polyethylene, we'll be able to craft these half a stack at a time instead of 4 at a time. So this will be awesome. And that will really cut out a lot of the issues here, because these take forever at their current rate. Like, look at this, 20 seconds for 2. Sure, it's 10 because we were using an MV assembler, but like, that's still forever. Which is why we're still cooking up all these diodes in here. But we're almost there. Look at all this stuff. Look at all of this. 4 stacks of circuits about to be mine. I should probably actually get it all started. Our circuit assembler is still over here at LV, but that's probably fine, I hope. Oh, I don't actually have an auto input for this because, well, that's probably okay. Actually, probably not. Well, I don't feel like moving this, so I'll deal with it. But look at this. Integration. We could upgrade these pretty easily. We just need more resistors, diodes, and some more bolts and wires. But also we need phenolic circuit boards, we need more phenol, and that's a whole issue. Certainly not an issue I feel like tackling today. No, I'm just happy to get any amount of LV circuits for much cheaper. So I'm thinking now that we have access to these are very cheap, by the way. You'll notice that this is 2 LVs for 2 MVs. This is awesome. But also 1 LV circuit is doubled. Like this is 2 MV circuits. That's crazy. Obviously HV is still 2 to 1, but you know, that's fine. We'll get the MV circuit assembler before too long, and that will let us make, seemingly, almost immediately, some very impressive things like these super tier 1 circuits. Now, I think by the time we get to this point, we should have polyethylene, so we'd be able to make the SMD components. And the only thing we'd really be missing is some strange chemical in here, which I'm sure we could figure out. But then we'd be able to make these crazy circuits, which would be awesome. But I'm, once again, as I so often do, am getting ahead of myself. I think next time we will be taking on polyethylene, though, in order to both get to HV as well as to make a whole lot of plastics for things like super tanks, because oh my gosh, I want super tanks. Well, that's not entirely true. I want these hermetic casings, because these get fluid drawers, and that's the real winner here. I love drawers, and I love fluid drawers. Having a place to actually store all of our liquids, especially like the big methanols, or not methanols, ethanols, and sulfuric acids, and who knows what else, will be wonderful. Large-scale fluid stores that aren't these wacky drums would be great. Oh, and before I forget, boop! Anyway, here I stand in front of my wonderful work of art. It's 4 blast furnaces. We've been over this part already. Here to bid you adieu for the day. We did pretty good. We're pretty much conquered through MV for the most part, I believe. Technically speaking, we're almost ready to take on HV. The only thing we're really missing is polyethylene. And, well, you know, that's next time. So, that's fine, you know? I'm kind of excited for polyethylene. It's a plastic, and I love plastic. I love chewing on it. Plus, I'm sure there's a bunch of other little niceties that I'll get from having plastics. Finally, I'll be able to pollute the ocean. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye-bye.